Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Thomas Van Kampen once again, here with another episode of Let's Animate. It has been a while, I'm back again, and I'm still working on episode 3 of The Peacock. I have barely touched this project in quite some time, and the reason being is I've just been caught up with other commission works, which you will see coming up in a bit. Well, you'll see one of them anyway, but regardless. I've just been doing some background work for a show in our local town in Calgary. I've been doing some work for my buddy Kyle Lynn of Enermedia, or Enermation, whatever his channel's going by now, which I will link to somewhere on the screen and in the description. And I'm done all that now, and there's one more thing I want to mention, but I'll get to that when I get to that. So yeah, that's what I've been up to the past few months. I've barely been able to touch the Peacock due to that, just been putting it on the back burner. But today I've pretty much wrapped up everything I needed to do, and I had nothing else to do, so I thought, hey, why not put this back on the grindstone? So yeah, that's what I'm doing for this episode. If you watched my last episode, or it wasn't really an episode of Let's Animate, but regardless, if you watched the last time I was working on this, you'll know that the scene opened up with the Peacock opening the door to his house and, limping through his hallway because he was still wounded from the events of This Bird Flies Solo. I'm still going along with that. He's still limping through his hallway. He's still really brutally damaged. And, and in this scene, he actually passes a mirror and he sees the damage done to his costume. So that's pretty much the scene I'm going with. He just limps by, notices himself in the mirror, and then in the scene after this, he's going to take a closer look. He's going to analyze his goggles and everything, see if he's able to repair his costume and everything like that. And hopefully this comes together smoothly. I'm a little bit rusty, just because, I've been on and off again, been super busy with everything else. Been busy going back and forth between my animation school to color correct everything and stuff. And that's what I've been doing. So a lot has happened since I've been gone, and it's been pretty rough. I'll say that much. I mean, the biggest news, obviously, that comes to mind is the presidency. Donald Trump has officially won the election. And it took me and quite a few of my friends by a surprise. Like, to put this in perspective, a joke that The Simpsons did in 2000 became true. I don't know how The Simpsons can so scarily interpret the future like that, but somehow they do. It's confirmed that their writers must be time travelers, because how the hell can they predict the future this often? But, the point of bringing that up is, like, what's a Simpsons joke, something so outrageous that it's a Simpsons joke, actually came true in the real world. How weird is that? Like, 10 years ago, if somebody brought up the idea, we would have just scoffed it off and laughed at it. And, even a year ago, that's exactly what we were doing. When Donald Trump announced his run for presidency, nobody I knew took it very seriously. Even people who are supporting him now, they were just thinking like, oh, really? This is going to be our president now? Yeah, okay. That was before any of the really actual controversial stuff started coming awry, where he was basically just somebody who was fun to poke innocent fun at. And here we are now. It's so weird to think about, and personally, that's not what I would have done. If it were up to me, Bernie Sanders would be up there. That's just my personal opinion. Take with that what you will. Not trying to change you over to that side. That's just my thought on it. And so that's pretty crazy. What else is going on? I might as well, while I have it on the brain, I might as well tell you guys the third commission job I've been doing recently. So I've been working on a pitch for a 5-minute short for this really adorable storybook character called Jerry Mouse, written by a lady named Charlotte Cooper, who's a Canadian children's author. And basically the story, or like the character of Jerry Mouse, it deals a lot with, social justice issues like homelessness and child poverty and stuff like that. And it communicates these issues in a way that's supposed to be very entertaining for kids. And, it's very cute. It's very, and it hits close to home, I think, especially for Canadians, because it's sort of told from that perspective and whatnot. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. And what's going to happen is we've already got the pitch all done up. I've done everything on my end, and we're going to be sharing that in a bit. But starting on Wednesday, November 16th at 12 p.m. Mountain Time, the Story Hive page about our pitch is going to go up, and you can vote for it publicly. That's how they decide who the grant is going to go to, and we're actually competing with a few more artists in order to get it. So hopefully we get that, and support that however you can. I would really appreciate it if you would. I don't know if people in America can really do anything about it. I think it might strictly be a Canadian thing. But regardless, any help or support you can give of any kind, whether it's moral or whether or not you vote, it would be really appreciated, because it would be a huge step forward for myself and my career. Speaking of steps forward, just recently I quit my day job, like my part-time day job. I used to be a sales associate for Eddie Bauer, and that was fun. I did that for 2 years. I worked with amazing people, the best team I could have possibly asked for in the field of retail. The kindest, most patient people I could have ever asked for. But that said, I felt like it was time to move on, especially since I've been getting tons and tons and tons of commission work recently. Like every other day I get a new email by somebody now. So business has been really booming, and that's what ultimately gave me the confidence to quit my job and do animation full time. So I'm super excited about that. And that might mean that I'm able to post Let's Animates more frequently. I don't want to bite myself in the ass, because for the past few episodes I've been saying like, oh, I'm going to post more, or sorry for the hiatus, blah blah blah. I'm getting so sick of repeating myself, you have no idea, and I don't want to make any false promises. But that said, now that I don't have my day job, you might see a bit more. And that said, I likely will only post stuff whenever I'm working on passion projects and stuff I absolutely have approval to be putting up on here, because I don't want to ruin any surprises for my clients or anything. Like, I obviously wouldn't put up any client work on here, because, I would have to get their permission first, and chances are they wouldn't allow that. So I'd rather just put up my own passion projects, like the Peacock or whatever other skit I'm working on. So, that pretty much covers that. What else has been going on? My favorite animator and my personal inspiration, Harry Partridge, he recently put up a new cartoon. He promised to deliver more cartoons this year, and he came really close to not fulfilling his promise. January is like a month and a half away as of this video. But, he released a new cartoon, and it's pretty freaking fantastic. I'll put a link to the description of that, too. It's a collaboration with Dan Bull, and it's another Skyrim video. Harry Partridge, he likes to make a lot of videos about Skyrim whenever there's a new game coming out. He did one for Skyrim, that's really good. He did one for Elder Scrolls Online, that's really good. Even if the Elder Scrolls Online at its first release was pretty terrible, but he had high hopes, and his video was fantastic nonetheless. I constantly go back to it. So he made another video like that, and he I don't know how he does it. He's already one of the most, if not the most, phenomenal YouTube animators you can talk about right now. He's right up there with Max Gilardi and pretty well all the greats that are still at it. Even if he doesn't update nearly as frequently. God, I wish he could, but animation is hard. And somehow he always comes out with stuff that's better. I don't understand how he can get better than he already is, but somehow he pulls it off. In this new one, he has all sorts of elaborate character animation. He has all these character designs of people on screen at once. And one thing I noticed about the adaptation of his style in 2016, the two cartoons that he has in 2016, they take up way more dynamic camera angles. That's something I've immediately noticed. Usually his stuff is basically kind of like a standard medium shot of like two people, not really facing the camera necessarily, but kind of, just a standard still shot of people talking together. But his work has been taking up some crazy new angles. He's done some worm's eye views. He's been doing tons of camera scrolling and all that good stuff. He has a great sense of depth perception, better than ever before. It's pretty crazy. And that's the biggest thing I noticed about the most recent stuff he's put out. And go check that out. I highly recommend it. Couldn't recommend it enough because, like Harry Partridge always is, it's amazing. And it actually has a few really good animators that I can recommend as well. Like CatFat was a assistant animator on that project. Vivian Medrano, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, otherwise known as VivzyPop, worked on that one as well, and she's also phenomenal. She's done work such as that one Kesha music video that has like 11 million hits. So it's pretty crazy. I'm super impressed with his work, and I hope to aspire to be that. And so far, like, in spite of all the craziness that's been happening recently and how it's been affecting everyone, not just in America, but like in our own borders of Canada too, I have to say life's been treating me pretty good. Yeah. Overall, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I'm pursuing my dreams and whatnot, and it becomes easier and easier all the time. So, I just thought I'd put out a little bit of something as long as I've got the time on my hands. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Let's Animate, and I'll see you all later.